IELTS Speaking Part 1, Cities. Question 1. Have you ever lived in a city? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, I have lived in a city before. Band 7 answer. Yes, I have lived in a city, and I spent several years in an urban area. Band 8 answer. Yes, I have lived in a city for quite a long time, so I'm very familiar with city life and its advantages and disadvantages. Question 2. What do you enjoy most about living in the city? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I enjoy the convenience. Everything is easy to access. Band 7 answer. What I enjoy most is the convenience. Public transport is very efficient, and there are many shops and restaurants nearby. Band 8 answer. What I enjoy most about city life is the convenience and variety. Public transportation is very reliable in Japan, and there are endless options for food, shopping, and entertainment, which makes daily life much easier and more enjoyable. Question 3. Which city would you like to live in the future? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I'd like to live in Tokyo. Band 7 answer. I'd like to live in Tokyo because it offers many job opportunities and a very active lifestyle. Band 8 answer. In the future, I'd like to live in Tokyo. It offers a wide range of career opportunities, cultural activities, and a fast-paced lifestyle, which I find exciting and motivating. Question 4. Do most people in your country live in cities? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, many people live in cities. Band 7 answer. Yes, a large number of people in my country live in cities, especially around major urban areas. Band 8 answer. Yes, most people in Japan live in cities or suburban areas near big cities. This is mainly because of better job opportunities, convenient transportation, and access to education and healthcare. IELTS Speaking Part 2. An inspiring person. Describe a person who inspired you to do something interesting. You should say, who is the person? For what was he or she inspired? Why was he or she inspired? And explain how you felt about it. You have 1 minute to prepare. You have 2 minutes to talk. Model answer. Band 6 answer. I'd like to talk about my high school English teacher. She inspired me to improve my English speaking skills. She often encouraged us to speak English in class, even if we made mistakes. She told us that communication was more important than perfect grammar. Because of her attitude, I felt more confident and started to practice speaking English more. I felt thankful because she helped me become more interested in learning English. Band 7 answer. I'd like to describe my high school English teacher, who inspired me to work on my English speaking skills. She was very supportive and always encouraged students to express their ideas in English, even when our sentences were not perfect. Instead of correcting every mistake, she focused on helping us communicate clearly. She inspired me because she created a relaxed learning environment. As a result, I felt more confident and motivated. I started watching English videos and practicing speaking outside of class, which made learning more enjoyable for me. Band 8 answer. I'd like to talk about my high school English teacher, who had a strong influence on my interest in learning English, especially speaking. She encouraged us to speak freely in class and reminded us that making mistakes was a natural part of learning. Rather than focusing only on grammar, she emphasized communication and self-expression. What inspired me most was her positive attitude toward learning. She made English feel less stressful and more practical. Because of her, I started practicing English through movies, online videos, and conversations with friends. I felt genuinely inspired and grateful, as her teaching style not only improved my language skills but also changed the way I approach learning new things in general. IELTS Speaking Part 3. An inspiring person. Question 1. Who motivates children the most? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I think parents motivate children the most because they spend the most time with them. Parents support children in daily life and encourage them when they face difficulties. Children usually listen to their parents' advice. In Japan, many parents guide their children's study habits and personal behavior from a young age. Band 7 answer. In my opinion, parents are the strongest source of motivation for children, especially in early childhood. Parents influence children through their words and actions. When parents show effort and responsibility, children are more likely to follow their example. Teachers also play an important role, but parents have a deeper emotional impact. For example, in Japan, parents often motivate children by setting clear expectations for school and personal discipline. Band 8 answer. I believe parents are the most influential motivators for children, particularly because of their long-term emotional connection. Children are more likely to be motivated when they feel supported and understood at home. Parental attitudes toward learning, failure, and effort strongly shape children's mindset. While teachers and peers matter, parental influence is usually more consistent. In Japan, where family involvement in education is strong, parents often motivate children by emphasizing perseverance and responsibility rather than only results. Question 2. How can teachers motivate children? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Teachers can motivate children by encouraging them and praising their effort. When teachers explain things clearly and show patience, students feel more confident. This helps them enjoy learning more. In Japan, teachers often motivate students by creating a positive classroom atmosphere. Band 7 answer. Teachers can motivate children by making lessons interesting and giving positive feedback. If students feel their effort is recognized, they are more willing to participate. Teachers can also motivate children by setting achievable goals and supporting them when they struggle. In Japan, many teachers motivate students by balancing discipline with encouragement, which helps students stay focused. Band 8 answer. I think teachers motivate children most effectively by building trust and creating meaningful learning experiences. Rather than focusing only on grades, teachers should recognize effort, creativity, and improvement. When students feel safe to make mistakes, their motivation increases. Teachers also act as role models through their attitude toward learning. In Japan, teachers who combine structure with empathy often succeed in motivating students to take responsibility for their own learning. Question 3. What qualities make someone a role model? Model answer. Band 6 answer. A role model should be responsible and hardworking. People admire those who behave well and do not give up easily. These qualities inspire others to follow them. Many people in Japan respect role models who show effort and honesty. Band 7 answer. I think a good role model should be consistent, responsible, and willing to help others. It is important that their actions match their words. People feel inspired when they see someone overcoming challenges through effort rather than talent alone. In Japan, role models are often admired for their dedication and strong sense of duty. Band 8 answer. In my view, a true role model demonstrates integrity, resilience, and empathy. Rather than being perfect, role models inspire others by handling difficulties with maturity and responsibility. Their behavior sets a standard for others to follow, especially in challenging situations. In Japan, people often admire role models who value humility and perseverance, as these qualities encourage long-term personal growth rather than short-term success. Question 4. What kind of international news inspires people? Model answer. Band 6 answer. International news about positive changes often inspires people. For example, stories about helping others or improving the environment make people feel hopeful. These news stories show that the world can become better. Many people in Japan are inspired by global cooperation stories. Band 7 answer. People are often inspired by international news that shows progress, cooperation, or human achievement. News about scientific discoveries, humanitarian efforts, or successful teamwork between countries can motivate people. Such stories remind people that challenges can be solved together. In Japan, international news about disaster relief and global environmental actions often receives positive attention. Band 8 answer. I believe international news inspires people most when it highlights collective effort and meaningful impact. Stories about countries working together to address global issues, such as climate change or public health, encourage hope and responsibility. These stories often create role models on a global scale. In Japan, international news that reflects shared values, cooperation, and long-term vision tends to inspire people more deeply than purely political or conflict-based news.
Congrats on making it to the end of this video, and kudos to you if you did all that practice. You are amazing. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And you can also add my official LINE account that's in the profile. And if you do this, then I can send you a free phrases guide that you can use for your practice. All right, happy studying. See ya.